Hello everybody, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Person Trying to Lose Weight video. My cat is with us. If you can hear him purring, please forgive me. He's a very friendly boy. So he wants his face in my face, but there we go. Anyway, so we're going to be watching this, and I quite enjoy these videos because I feel like we've all been in the same boat. Those of us who've been overweight or been obese and trying to lose weight, we've all made the same sort of mistakes and we've done the same sort of things. So I do think it's quite interesting to see it from somebody who's been there and done all of this probably and come out of it on the other side. So yeah, let's just get into it.
What I ate today as someone that is 54 days free and down 22 pounds.
I am firstly just going to say that I'm really happy for her and I wish her the absolute very, very best in her continuing journey. I truly, truly do.
So I ate my first meal around 11. I'm not usually hungry in the morning, so this is like an early lunch. I had chicken soup with some bread, tomatoes, cucumbers, and a little bit of tzatziki sauce.
This is actually a really nice meal. I can't really say anything about it. It looks quite good. It's a normal size, or like a normal portion of bread. It's got some nice veggies there as well, and chicken soup is really tasty. And again, this sort of sauce is quite good depending on how you make it. You can make it fat free, depending if you use like a fat free yogurt and stuff. But yeah, overall, it's really quite good. The only thing maybe that she would maybe be able to do to increase protein would be to add some shredded chicken breast to the soup, just as an addition, but it is already chicken soup, so she doesn't really have to worry about that sort of thing. But if she just was looking for something else, that is something that she may be able to do, and it still kind of fit the meal really well. But otherwise, it is a really, really good meal, to be honest.
I follow a girl on here. Her name is Kelsey. I'll tag her in the caption, but she shares every day what she eats as she's trying to recover from eating, and I find it so helpful. So I'm definitely inspired by her. After this, I had a coffee. This is actually my second one. I didn't film my first one, but it's just iced coffee with creamer.
I would say about the creamers, she did use a fairly normal amount based on just appearances. I've said in previous videos that we don't really have creamer in the UK to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I've never seen it. It's definitely not something that I've ever bought or used. So she did use a normal amount of creamer, but she said this is her second coffee. So if she is having coffees quite frequently throughout the day, I know some people do like to have 4, 5, 6, 10 coffees in a day, then do be mindful of how much you're actually adding. Even if you're only adding, say, 30 milliliters per coffee, if you're having 5 of them, it adds up pretty quick. So just do be mindful of that. And if you do like black coffee, you can get flavor drops. So you can get zero sugar flavor drops for coffees, and you can add them to pancakes and stuff, or whatever else you like. And they can add a really nice taste to like black coffee. I use my protein ones. I use my protein caramel and my protein, I think, vanilla. I've had them for coming up 2 years now, and I use like 2 or 3 drops per coffee, and I really like it. And they've lasted me, like I said, 2 years. So that is something that could be considered if you're looking for an alternative to creamers or like syrup pumps or something like that.
This is actually my second one. I didn't film my first one, but it's just iced coffee with creamer. You guys know my obsession with McDonald's, and I've been craving a Big Mac the last few days. So I decided to make the Big Mac salad that I've been seeing on TikTok. It was amazing. It was so good. It is a huge portion. I have enough to make another one tomorrow. That was so.
So that's a fantastic alternative to something like a McDonald's. So you get the texture and the taste that you're looking for, but you get the benefits of making food at home. You can get the benefit of having a lot of food. And I quite enjoy eating food, so I tend to eat in big portions. Something like this would suit me incredibly well, and it clearly has suited her because it's been so much that she can't eat it all, and she has enough portion for the day tomorrow, the next day, so tomorrow. And yeah, this is a fantastic way to go about food because, as I said, you still get to enjoy it, you still get to get all the nutrition that is in the veggies and stuff, and it's just really, really good for you. So this is a really, really good meal again. So she's doing fantastic so far.
Feeling I couldn't finish. This is what's left. It's Friday tonight, and I'm going to hang out at my sister's house, and we don't really feel like cooking, but we didn't want to order takeout, so we just got some stuff at the grocery store. I chose this sandwich with some cheese and some pre-cut apples. This is my little nephew. He's so cute. I also came really close to getting some Diet Coke, but I decided against it, and it just stuck to my water.
That dinner was actually quite good as well. The sandwich looks quite nice and it's got quite a lot of veggies in there. The apple is a good choice. And what was the other thing that she had? Let's go back to the beginning of this segment.
Want to order takeout, so we just got some stuff at the grocery store. I chose this sandwich with some cheese and some pre-cut apples.
So it's cheese. Okay, so I don't know what type of cheese it is, unfortunately, but it is obviously portioned out, so I would assume that it is a portion of cheese. There's nothing wrong with having a portion of cheese at all, as long as you're having a portion and you're not having 2, 3, 4, 5 portions, which is very easy to do with things like cheese. As I said, sandwich looks good. It's also got cheese in there, and then it's got some veggies and some kind of meat of some description in there by the looks of things. It's not bad. What I would maybe do to this would be to add a different source of protein in there just to make it a bit thicker and more tasty. Maybe add some like lettuce or something, but that's just my preference when it comes to sandwiches. And it is pretty difficult to find pre-made sandwiches that are nice. Thankfully, we have a lot of selection nowadays, but you can just make them better. But irrespective of that, again, this is quite a good meal and it's definitely a really good choice if you're just not wanting to cook or prepare a meal that day. Absolutely fantastic choices. Again, can't really fault her at all. And then we're going to go a bit further on.
Water. My sister made this beautiful strawberry cheesecake, so I had a nice little slice of this. It was amazing, and that's what I ate today. Some days I eat a bunch of small meals, some days I only eat 2. I really go with how I'm feeling. Thank you.
So that's a really good way, a good day of eating. And she's got the cheesecake as well, which is fantastic because cheesecake is nice and she's with her sister and her little nephew and stuff, and it's been made at home. It's probably a lot healthier than if you were to get a cheesecake from the store, and it is a normal sized portion, and she's got the strawberries on top as well. So, and because her day was so balanced and so well rounded with the vitamins and the protein and the veggies, there's no harm at all in having a piece of dessert at the end of the day. There's no harm in it whatsoever. It looks quite tasty. It's probably something that I would probably quite like to try. But yeah, she did incredibly well, and if she continues to eat like this, then she will be well on her way to losing more weight. And again, I wish her all the very best.
For watching. Bye.
I'm a fatty who's trying to be a baddie. This is everything I eat in a day on my weight loss journey.
Depending on what exercise she is doing, she doesn't necessarily need a pre-workout. If you're doing heavy weights and stuff, then yes, maybe. But in general, if you're just doing a little bit of cardio or something, you don't really need it. I've said in previous videos, I used to go to the gym for 3 hours a day. My routine was an hour of running on the treadmill, then an hour of free weights, and then either half an hour on the bike and half an hour on a rowing machine, or half an hour on the Stairmaster and half an hour on the bike. That was just my routine. It wasn't a very well ordered routine. I should have done the weights first, but that was what suited me at the time when I was at university. And I really enjoyed it. It worked really, really well for me, and it was great until I got a spinal injury, but that's another story. I never ever once ever had a pre-workout drink, ever. And I used to exercise 6 to 7 times a day. Again, it wasn't the best choice for me, and it destroyed my back, or contributed to my injury. But taking that aside, I never felt the need for a pre-workout, so I can't imagine that she is doing something so strenuous that she needs it. And I don't mean to say that you can't have pre-workout, or pre-workout's really bad for you. Depending on the type that you get, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Generally, it's just a lot of caffeine. But I doubt she needs it. It could just be an additional thing that she is spending money on, or she's been convinced that she needs, that she doesn't need. It's just kind of over-consumerism that she could probably do without, and she doesn't need the chemicals or whatever is in it. She could just have some water and have exactly the same kind of effect. So 30 minutes, 6-mile bike ride. You don't need a pre-workout for a 30-minute cardio exercise at all. That's kind of redundant, to be honest. She would have been better off just having some water, to be fair. Then she's having some kind of omelette with some kind of meat stick.
In the morning, and I'm having a 2-egg omelet with spinach and arugula in it and cheese.
Sounds like she's going to cry. I hope she's okay. But the omelette looks quite nice. She could have a lot more spinach. One thing that I would do would be to saute the spinach first and then kind of whisk your egg up in like a jug, and then put your sauteed spinach into the egg, whisk that up, and then make the omelette, just so the spinach is throughout the egg completely. And I love to make enormous omelettes. I tend to have like 3, 4, 5 eggs in an omelette. and it's delicious. But I add so many veggies. I add like onions and carrots and peas. I have grated broccoli sometimes, which is really nice, spinach. So there are loads of things that you can add to omelettes that bulk them up, are really, really good for you, full of nutrition, and still very tasty. But overall, it's not that bad. I would like to know what this meat stick thing is, because that doesn't look like the best source of protein. She would be better off with something like a cleaner sauce, so chicken breast or tofu or beef or something like that. But it inherently is not that bad.
And I'm having this with a turkey meat stick for a little bit more protein. This one night I made myself an iced coffee, and then I'm gonna have this coconut Built Bar.
The coffee looks very milky, so I would like to know how she made it. Unfortunately, she doesn't show us. And then the Built Bar, I think these are kind of, they're not scams, I think they're gimmicks. So I think these are just being marketed by influencers and other social media people to convince others who don't know any better that they need it, and they don't. She did a 6 mile bike ride for 30 minutes. You don't need a pre-workout and then a protein bar. There's nothing wrong with having additional protein, whether that's protein shakes, protein bars, or whatever, but you shouldn't use them as an alternative to actual clean protein sources. You'd be better off having some chicken breast or some tuna or some tofu or some tempeh or something like that. Because these are they look sweet to me because they've got chocolate on them. So again, this is again falling into the trap of having sweet things like convenience foods like chocolate bars, where your body is, well, not your body, your brain is getting used to opening packets and eating them. So opening a packet of a Built Bar and opening a packet of a chocolate bar, to your brain it's the same thing. So you're continuously reinforcing that idea that snacking is okay, and I don't mean that snacking is wrong or anything like that. But if you're snacking, you should snack on good things: apples, pears, bananas, fruit in general, roasted veggies, chicken breast, tuna salads, stuff like that. Not ultra processed things that come out of packets. You'd be better off having real food if you need a snack. But realistically, humans aren't built for snacking like that. So if you can avoid it, probably do avoid it. But if you are somebody that prefers to eat throughout the day, then again, perfectly fine, whatever suits you. But you shouldn't be training yourself to eat things like this.
I was gonna have this with breakfast, but I wanted to wait so I could have it with my coffee.
That looks like a marshmallow. I thought this was a protein bar. I could be mistaken, this could just be a chocolate bar. But again, look how sweet it looks. It just looks like a normal chocolate bar. So you're not learning anything from it. You're not conditioning yourself not to want to eat sweet foods. You're just reinforcing the habit by tricking yourself into thinking that it's better because it's got more protein in it. But just because something's got more protein in it doesn't make it healthy. It's the same way, just because something's got no fat in it or low sugar, it doesn't make it healthy. You do have to be mindful of these things and think about why they've produced it in the way they have, why they're marketing it the way they are, stuff like that. Because businesses are out there to make money. They're out there to trick you into thinking that you need something and you don't.
I got this loaded tea sample on the TikTok shop. This is so good, and it's supposed to have 100 milligrams of caffeine.
100 milligrams of caffeine is quite a lot of caffeine, and I don't know if I will trust anything off of TikTok shop. Just personally, I wouldn't do that. And it is a very funny colour. It looks luminous purple. So again, think of what is in that to make it that colour, because I don't know if it would be kind of like natural sources or if it's like dyes and stuff, and you don't necessarily want to be eating a lot of dye or food colouring. So you'd be better off just making a normal herbal tea infusion. So you can even make them at home. It's quite straightforward to make at home, to be honest. So you can like dry strawberries and stuff and just put them in a tea infuser, and boom, you've got strawberry tea, and it's really tasty when you make it at home. But I know it is a long process, so yeah, not the best choice, but it is just kind of water, so it's not that bad.
That loaded tea I had was so good, but it is now 4:45. We are having 2 chicken wraps with arugula and honey mustard.
She did have the plate on a scale, so I would assume that she'd weighed everything out, but I don't know. You don't need to weigh out things like arugula, or rocket as we call it in the UK, I think. So we don't need to weigh out things like rocket and lettuce and stuff like that, because they're basically 0 calories anyway. But things like chicken, especially if you've got sauces on them, which it looks like she has, you should really weigh that out. But when you're weighing out protein, you should weigh it out raw, because the cooking process changes the weight. So you will cook 100 grams of chicken breast and I will cook 100 grams of chicken breast. Depending on how we've cooked it, You may end up with 75 grams as a final total weight, but I might end up with, I don't know, 85 grams. So there is a discrepancy there, and if you're logging it cooked, you can be logging it quite a little bit wrong based on the changes that happen throughout cooking. So if you are weighing it out, weigh it out raw if you can. But weighing it out cooked, if that's all you can do, is perfectly fine as well.
We just got done at the Dollar Tree. I got the decorations, and I'm having this watermelon propel water.
Another
It is 8:53. I'm having this bread roll. I'm about to make myself some dinner.
I used to fall in that trap a lot, having a snack before dinner or having a snack whilst preparing dinner, and I did that a lot in my obese days, and it's something that I definitely had to train myself not to do, because I used to do this a lot. I used to have like a piece of toast or one slice of toast, one slice of bread for a sandwich whilst I was cooking my dinner, and it was literally going to be made in 5 minutes, but I still had the additional food. It was just greedy of me. I don't know why I did it. But it was definitely a learning process when it kind of hit me, like, what am I actually doing? Why am I eating a 400 calorie snack before I eat dinner? That's going to be made in literally 2 minutes. What on earth am I doing? Why am I doing this? It's exactly what she's just done. She's had a bread roll before dinner. If you're that hungry, have a piece of fruit. But again, schedule your meals out so you're not getting into these pitfalls where you feel the need to have a snack or a small meal before your actual meal. Those kind of calories do count, and they do add up incredibly quickly.
I'm having this second half of broccoli cheddar soup that I didn't eat the other night, and I'm just going to eat that with the roll.
That's a whole ass meal. Soup with bread.
It is 9:09. I was really craving a gansito. Here I have 100 grams of yogurt, and I'm just going to put this on top of there. This is where I'm channeling. I think her name is Liza. She said,
do you see what I mean by having ultra processed things out of packets? Because she did it in the morning. Again, she's doing it here, but this is a more chocolatey one. So this is more just a genuine sweet treat thing that she's having. Don't train yourself into thinking that having protein bars are really good for you, because, like I said earlier, your brain thinks a protein bar and a chocolate bar are the same thing. You're doing the same action to get the food, and they taste the same for a reason, by the way. Protein bars taste like that, so make you continue to buy them. But, yeah, this is all before dinner. She's not had dinner yet, I don't think.
have what you want, add what you need. So I'm having...
You don't need a dessert like this after you've had all the food that you've had. You don't need dessert. That's not true. It is a myth sold by Big Dessert. And sometimes what your brain thinks you need and what you actually need are two completely different things. Sometimes I think I need to go on a vacation or a holiday for 10 years and just disappear. But what I actually need to do is figure out why I hate my job so much and sort it out so I can continue to earn money and be a contributing member of society. I don't know, like sometimes I feel the need to eat an entire tray of brownies. I don't need to do that. I need to not do that, and I need to have a banana instead and calm down. So just because your brain tells you that you need something, especially when you're a really big person and you've got a food addiction, it doesn't mean it's true. You can tell your brain that it's wrong. And yes, you are your brain. Your brain is you. It's the same thing. It's like when like the fat acceptance people say, my body this, my body that. You are your body is you. It's not two completely separate entities. It is all one and the same thing. But yeah, just because your brain tells you that you need to have a dessert at the end of the day, you don't have to listen to it. It's okay.
What I want.
But at the same time, it is also okay to have dessert. Don't get me wrong. If you want to have a dessert, have a dessert. But don't have a dessert because your brain tells you to and you have no willpower to say no.
Which was the gansito, and then I'm adding what I need, which is protein. This is about 10 grams of protein, I think.
To say you need protein and then to have 10 grams out of a protein bar is nonsense. If you need protein, have some chicken, have some fish, have some meat, have a meat alternative. Don't eat a protein bar. That's silly. And also, if you had more real protein in your meals, then you wouldn't necessarily feel the need to make this. I would see this and I think dessert. I don't look at this and think, oh, that's super healthy protein meal. So, yeah.
Somewhere around there. Just smushing it up. Let's try it.
Again, this is another case of people tricking themselves into thinking that just because something's got extra protein in it, that it's healthy. that's not necessarily healthy just because it's got 10 grams of sugar in it, 10 grams of protein in it. How much sugar has it got in it? How many carbs? How much fat? How much saturated fat? How many different random chemicals are in it? How many additives? So, yeah, it's 10 grams of protein, but it's 10 grams of ultra processed protein. It's not real. Eat some real food. And again, there's nothing wrong with having protein bars or protein shakes. I had them a lot when I was a vegan as well. But they serve a purpose. They're there for a reason. They're there for a backup. They're not there for your main source of protein. They're there to help you. They're a tool. They are not the main thing that you're supposed to be relying on.
This is perfect.
What I ate today.
So she didn't show us her dinner, which is unfortunate. And we have seen this young lady as well, because she is only 18. She is still incredibly young. So I do wish her the very, very best, because she has almost certainly grown up as an obese child. And that is just, I feel sorry for her, I truly do. But I do wish her the very best, and I hope the medication helps her.
Today as a fat girl on Manjaro and a strict calorie deficit trying to lose 9 stone.
9 stone is 126 pounds, I think, give or take. So for my non-English friends, that's what that is.
Starting off the day.
And in kilos, that's probably, I don't know, 50 kilos, something like that.
As usual with a protein shake. This is 25 grams of protein and 155 calories. This was my first time trying the white chocolate flavour. I highly recommend it. And then of course I took my WIEIAD multivitamin. I can't recommend these enough.
So she had a multivitamin and protein shake. So she is on medication, so it is a little bit different because it can affect her stomach a lot more than if you're just doing it on your own. And there's nothing wrong with having help from a medication or help from anything that you're using, whether that's weight loss surgery, medication or therapy, it doesn't matter. Get the help that you need. That's perfectly fine. There's no shame in it. You're not cheating or any nonsense like that. But because she is on the medication, it's probably affecting her slightly different than it would, say, if I was to eat like this. The protein shake, it's fine, but it is the white chocolate flavour, so it could be quite high in sugar, so that would be something to be mindful of, because it could make her crave sugar throughout the rest of the day. It would probably be cheaper for her to buy a protein powder and just mix up the drinks on her own in the UK, and I'm perfectly certain that in the US you have a very similar thing, and in most of like Europe as well. And I say that because most of my audience is Europe and the US. But we have the protein powders, and you can get so many different flavours. You can get whey protein, you can get plant-based proteins, and I tend to go for plant-based because I get quite sick if I drink the whey. But yeah, so she's better off doing that. And then because you can get the different flavours, I've got a salted caramel one, and I've got a strawberry one as well. So you can get chocolate, you can get toffee, you can get loads of different things. And again, with the flavour drops, you could add a couple of flavour drops to that and then make it really quite tasty. The macros are going to be a little bit better on them, and you can have a lot more volume. So when I make my protein shakes, I would have, I think, 30 grams of powder, which is I think 19 grams of protein, with 750 millilitres of water with 2 caramel flavour drops. And that would be quite good for me, and it would suit me quite well to have almost a litre of liquid after I went to the gym for my long session, and that just suited me. So she might be able to do something like that and then kind of use the liquid as well just for her hydration, and it would be, I think it would settle in her stomach a little bit more as well, just because I just think it would, because I tend to do better when I've got more liquids in my system personally. But anyway, moving on. And the multivitamin, if she's on a medication, she's under the care of a doctor, and I imagine her GP has told her or recommended something to her. If you are thinking of going on vitamins, that's perfectly fine. Depending on what it is, in the UK we're always advised to take vitamin D because of our lack of sunlight and the weather that we have, and it's quite difficult to get the right amount of vitamin D from your food. So we, as a nation, are recommended to take vitamin D. If you're thinking of taking multivitamin, you're probably better off going to your doctor and getting a blood test and having them tell you if you actually need something. So you're not just taking something for the sake of it. You'll save money, and you won't necessarily... If you don't need it, there's no point taking it, you know? But anyway, moving on to the rest of her day. So she's got some protein Warburton's bagel thins.
For my lunch, I had protein bagels with turkey bacon and cucumber slices. These turkey bacon are 29 calories per slice. Equals 154 calories with 9 grams of protein. Then I had some cucumber sticks. These come up to about 8 calories. And that was my dinner, and it was super tasty and filling.
If she's full from that, that's definitely going to be the medication. I wouldn't be full from that. If she was, obviously the medication makes it a little bit different, but if you are trying something like this, I would probably have a little bit more turkey bacon, or any other protein source that you enjoy in your sandwich, and then having a lot of veggies in there. So I would slice carrots, I would have cucumber slices in the sandwich with lots of lettuce, maybe some spinach or some rocket or something, maybe add some really finely diced onions. You can make a really, really big sandwich that's going to be really, really filling and have the veggies on the side as well. So you can have a really big portion and have it really nutritious and really good for you. So that is what I would do as somebody who isn't on a medication.
I actually managed to finish all of that. I was super full after this. I didn't need any snacks between lunch and dinner. Highly recommend this lunch. Then I had 500ml of water.
It's good that she is having water, but she would be better off having a lot more water than 500 millilitres. She is a big girl, she needs a lot of water and fluids. I don't know if the medicine affects that and if it makes drinking water difficult, because I don't know, it might do. But she should be drinking way more than that, probably 3 to 4 litres a day.
And on to dinner, I'm having broccoli stems. These were about 30 calories, and then I had a microwave steamed rice and some roast chicken slices. 100 grams of chicken is 126 calories. And then
I wonder if this is like the raw or the cooked difference, because she's being very specific with her calories and she is weighing things out, which is great, but she needs to make sure that she is actually measuring what she thinks she's measuring. She has had this issue in the past where she was measuring pasta and she measured it cooked, where it should have been measured raw. So she has fallen into that trap before, so something to be mindful of.
100 grams of rice is 100.
That's not 100 grams of rice, primarily because firstly it's cooked, but also it is still in the plastic container. So unless she has teared it before she's put it on there, but she prepared it in this plastic container, so chances are she's just put the whole thing on the scale and is just weighing what it says. The packet should tell you the portion that you've got, and the packet should tell you the calories in it. You should be better off doing that and reading what the packet says rather than weighing it in the container itself, unless she's going to tip it out or decant it and then weigh the plastic again, but that seems like a really convoluted way of doing it.
129 calories. This was a perfect meal and it filled me up so much. In fact, I actually couldn't finish. But that's okay not to finish meals on Monjaro.
It's okay not to finish meals with your on Monjaro or not, but I don't think that was under 300 calories just based on the amount of chicken or turkey or whatever it was and the rice. The asparagus is neither here nor there, to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, but I don't think she's measuring quite right, because that doesn't sound quite right to me. I could be mistaken, of course, but it just seems a bit off.
Then afterwards I had a yogurt which was 153 calories and 20 grams of protein. That's what I finished, and total calories is 800.
Everything I just about.
So her total calories are 800 and something, and that is incredibly low. She's a big girl, she can eat a lot of food, but she's on medication, it is different. Don't eat this low if you are not under the care of a doctor. That would not be good for you. It's very silly. Whether you're losing weight or not, don't do that. It's no good. Even these most petite women, and I'm saying women in general because I'm talking about adults. My videos are not watched by children based on my stats on my side. But even the most petite of women should be eating far more than 813 calories. I think a lot of children should be eating more than that. So if you are just being yourself, living your life, don't do this. This will not benefit you in the slightest. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to lose weight or not. Don't do that.
That's what I finished, and total calories is 800.
Everything I eat is a fat girl in a calorie deficit.
This is one of our favourites because she never calculates anything properly, and it stresses me out a little bit, to be honest, because I think she speaks with a lot of authority, and I mean, she probably believes that what she's saying is true, and that's fair. I mean, everybody speaks on authority when they think they're right, but some of the things that she does are so obviously not quite right that, I don't know, I think that her tone sometimes is a little bit off, but that might just be me and my biases, to be fair.
Determined to be better today, so I really want my coffee and sweet treat now, but I'm gonna have my greens and then my breakfast before I have my sweet treat.
Again, she is the person, she said in one of her previous videos that she had a sweet treat in the middle of the day and she was like, I'm not giving up my sweet treat, I refuse to. This right here is why you shouldn't have sweet treats every single day, because she's woken up and she wants something sweet. She's clearly got some kind of addiction to sugar or dependency on sugar, which is absolutely terrible for you. And you do not need dessert every single day. You just don't. I would love to have children in a couple of years. I would absolutely love to have a baby next year. But it's probably not going to happen. But even if it did, I would not be teaching my baby that it's okay to have dessert every day. I don't think that's a good idea. I grew up like that and I grew up obese. So it wouldn't be something that I repeated for my own child. I would make sure that, yes, they had sweet treats and they had tasty foods like that, but they would know that they are for special occasions or they're for dessert, because we have desserts on Saturdays or we have desserts on Tuesday and Friday. Something like that. I definitely would not allow them to fall into the trap that I fell into as a child, that you need something sweet, or if you're having a bad day, then a packet of crisps or a chocolate bar is going to make you feel better, because it doesn't make you feel better. It makes you feel a lot worse in the long run. So I do wonder if she grew up with the similar sort of thing that I did, where you're having dessert every day or you're having just access to stuff like that. Whether it's given to you or not, just having access is enough, especially when you are obese and then you're being bullied and then you need a coping mechanism, but you're a child and you don't really have coping mechanisms because you've never been taught how to cope, and you just gravitate towards what you can control. Generally, that's food. So, yeah, that should be a habit that she works on breaking.
Lunch today is my home chef meal. This is hot honey chicken, Brussels sprouts, Dijon mustard, and then this is hot honey.
That looks like a really good lunch.
This entire meal is 500 calories and 41 grams of protein.
Again, with the bang on numbers, 500. It's like, is it 500? Are you sure? Did you weigh out all the sauces? Did you weigh out the oils that you cook the Brussels in? Did you weigh out the oils that you cook the chicken in? Did you weigh out all the honey that you used? So, yeah, bang on 500? I'm not sure. But it does look really good.
Didn't think I'd like Brussels sprouts, but the way that they were cooked and the dressing is very good. It's coffee and sweet treat time, so I'm trying one of these Built Puff Bars. I got them from Costco, and then my coffee just has a little bit of milk today.
I do forgive me about the audio. She is incredibly quiet, so I will try and turn her up. But if I can't, I do apologise. I'm going to see if we can turn her up a little bit. But another one of these Built Bar things, I don't know if it is like an influencer thing that the influencers are doing, but they have some of these people in a chokehold. But you don't need it. You don't. And she said that she had milk in her coffee, which is fine. I would like to know how much milk she had, but that's not that important. It's not creamer or that half and half stuff, so it's fine. Built Bar is just, as she calls it, a sweet treat. You don't need it, especially in the middle of the day. Have it at the end of the day if you feel like you have to have a sweet treat. But if you feel that you have to have a sweet treat, I would probably address that.
You guys recommended these. There are 17 grams of protein, 150 calories.
Doesn't mean it's healthy. There is probably a lot more stuff in it than just protein. I bet it's got lots of sugars in it. I bet it does. Or if it doesn't have sugar, it has a sugar alternative, a sweetener that will still like spike your blood sugar levels. You know, that's always great. You don't need a sweet treat. Break that habit.
That was very good.
I doubt that.
It is 4 o'clock. I made a yogurt bowl. This has 371 calories, 45 grams of protein. It has a Chobani 20 gram of protein yogurt, a plain Chobani yogurt, and then Catalina Crunch and blueberries.
A lot of her protein, and it's not just this video, but a lot of her protein comes from non-meat sources. I don't mean that because obviously they're vegetarians and vegans. I was a vegan for a time and I was vegetarian for about 14 years. I got protein from different places. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But she clearly does eat meat. She's had chicken for lunch. So why is she then having protein bars and protein yogurts all the time? She does seem to have a massive dependency on things like protein yogurts. And whilst they're fine, there's nothing wrong with them, and things like Greek yogurt that are naturally high in protein, nothing wrong with them whatsoever. But don't make them your primary source of protein, especially if you do eat meat and meat products or animal products. Have real protein sources. Don't just rely on the ultra processed nonsense.
I just got to the gym. I'm gonna have one of my Real Z peanut butter dates. One date is 60 calories.
There's no way that's only 60 calories. It can't be. Dates are incredibly calorically dense because they're massive. They're basically sugar bombs. They are very, very high in calories. They are absolutely delicious. They are something that I don't really buy very often because I just eat the whole lot in like 4 days. But very, very tasty. Really, really good if you're making something like healthier Snickers, because you can flatten the dates, drizzle on some peanut butter and some melted chocolate, then put on some crushed peanuts and then put it in the fridge, and then you can break it apart and you've basically got like a healthier Snickers bar. It's very tasty. It's delicious. And I really, really do enjoy dates. But this is a date with peanut butter in it. I cannot be convinced that that's only 60 calories. I don't care what the packet says. I don't believe that.
Dinner tonight, I have mahi-mahi, smashed potatoes, garlic aioli, and then a little salad of kale and coleslaw with some Simply lemon vinaigrette and sugar-free honey Dijon. It was supposed to be a home chef meal, but it called for like fried mahi-mahi, so we just used the seasonings, the garlic aioli, the potatoes, and chose not to fry it. So it's about 600 calories, including the salad. Ended up air frying the mahi-mahi. Let's see how it is. Smashed potato.
It's going to be delicious as a potato. Let's be real. Potatoes are delicious. I love potatoes. They're probably my favourite vegetable. Perhaps. But they don't really count as vegetables. It's my favourite starch. I'll say that. But my favourite vegetable is probably broccoli. I love broccoli. But anyway. That does look like quite a nice dinner. It's a lot of sauce again. But the salad looks nice. The mahi-mahi looks nice. And so does the potato. Because potatoes are potato, isn't it? Potatoes are delicious in all forms.
And the salad. One of these sliced pre and probiotic sodas. It's 35 calories and tastes like the squirt soda. I have 5 of those 2-bite cherry chocolate chip cookies and then a sugar-free vanilla pudding.
She said that she has 1 sweet treat a day. She's already had 3. So she had the protein bar, which is basically a sweet treat, and then she's had the cherry bite things that she's just shown, which is dessert number 2, and then she's having the pudding cup thing, which is dessert number 3. You don't need 3 desserts. You don't need 1 dessert every day. You certainly don't need 3. That's just unnecessary and excess. Have 1 and have it at the end of the day.
Banana pudding.
I'm gonna dip it.
Goodness me.
Why do you have banana pudding?
It's the next morning. I went to bed after I put my son to bed, so I had about 2,000 calories, 160 grams of carbs, 150 grams of protein, 70 grams of fat, and 34 grams of fiber. I feel really good this morning because I went to bed feeling a little bit hungry, but I had 2,000 calories. I had plenty of food and macros and fiber, so I'm actually feeling really good, and I'm hoping that today I get to do the same thing.
The thing that gets me with her videos is that she says, oh, I had 150 grams of protein, I had X amount of carbs, and I had X amount of fibre, whatever she said. She must be tracking in some way or another. She has to be, because how else is she going to know that she's had 150 grams of protein? So she knows, if she is going based on the numbers that she's using to calculate that, she knows how many calories she's had. So why does she say I've had about 200 calories? Or 2,000 calories. I've had about 2,000 calories, but I've had 150 grams of protein. I've had 70 grams of carbs, and I've had 36 grams of fibre. Why is she so exact with the macros, but not the calories? I find that odd. But also she says, oh, this is about 500. This is about 600. This is about this. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't know what she's eating. And every single video that I've seen of hers, she looks exactly the same. And I don't mean that as a negative thing. I think she's a very pretty girl. But she's clearly not losing weight the way that she should be if she is actually counting her calories, because she's a big girl. If she was eating 2,000 calories, she'd be losing weight. And it is entirely plausible that all the videos I've taken of hers are posted at roughly the same time. It's entirely possible. I don't know. I don't look at the dates when I download them. But also, what is more likely is that she's not calculating calories properly. She's not calculating her macros at all properly. So she's probably overeating and she doesn't even realise that she's doing it. So she thinks she's eating 2,000 calories, but she's actually eating 2,300 or 2,200. If you're overeating by 200 calories a day, over a week, that's 1,400 calories. Over 2 weeks, that's 2,800. It adds up so quickly. And then you're going to be like, well, why aren't I losing weight? Why am I just staying the same? What am I doing wrong? It must be calories in, calories out doesn't work. The amount of times that happens, where people don't calculate things correctly, they don't measure things correctly, and they come to the conclusion that calories in, calories out doesn't work, as if there's some kind of medical mystery, is wild. No, calories in versus calories out does work. You're doing it wrong. But she just frustrates me because she comes across as if she's doing everything right and that she's trying her best, but she's doing it half-heartedly, which is why it's not working properly. And it just frustrates me because I imagine she's got a lot of people who follow her content, are actually engaged with what she's doing and look to her for advice and look to her for, like, not a role model, but somebody to kind of look up to. And maybe if they're doing their own journey, they follow along with her so they can do it together with like the parasocial relationships and stuff. But because she isn't doing it properly and she's showing all this, oh well, it's about this, it's about that, it makes other people think that they can just guesstimate calories and maybe lose weight or maybe not lose weight or whatever it is. They're going to do the same thing, they're going to do it wrong as well, and they're probably going to have bad results, and they're going to be in this boat of, well, why isn't it working for me? So it just frustrates me because she is so close to doing it right. She is so close, but she's just not quite there yet. And it just frustrates me. It frustrates me that she's like one step away from really getting it, and she's just not there. And it just makes me a bit sad for her, to be honest. But anyway, that is enough of me talking for this video. I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. It's been a bit of a long one today. Please let me know down in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you thought of this video in general. So again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys!